Hello and welcome back to TechnoSurgeon YouTube channel. So we have some news regarding RTX 5060. 5060 Ti has been launched and it looks pretty bad. As you can see, it comes from hardware unbox. The RTX 5060 Ti was tested in Last of Us Part 2. He tested in various games, but yeah, at 4K at DLSS high preset, very high preset, you see the average frame is 32 frames, which is very low, and it's even running DLSS, and the 16 GB variant goes at 62 frames, which is not that good looking. At 1440p high preset, we see 27 frames, which is bad for 8 GB variant, and 95 frames. The difference between these two variants is like day and night, literally. Next up, we also have at 1080p, and at 1080p it's also interesting, like 1% low is 23 frames and 29 frames for 8 GB, which is relatively fast compared to 16 GB, which is like 93 frames. It's like almost double to triple the performance of 8 GB variant. And yeah, the similar is in the case with Final Fantasy 16, and do note it's at native. It's not using any upscaling. The average frame is 25 to 45 frames on 16 GB, looking pretty bad. And at Indiana Jones, then and the Great Circle at 1080p, even at ultra preset, even though it's an ultra preset, the game just crashed. While in 16 GB variant, it didn't crash and it gave us solid 96 frames per second, which is good to see. But here we see at 4K DLSS, very high preset, 13 frames, and low is like 7 frames, which is unplayable. And at 16 GB VRAM, we see it's 62 to 69 frames per second, so it's like you can play literally at 16 GB RAM, and this just shows how important RAM is for these graphics cards. Also, we have at 1440p at DLSS quality mode, high preset 17 to 24 frames, while it is barely playable on 8 GB VRAM, while that on 16 GB you can literally play it better. So this just shows how important VRAM is. And also, yeah, the card is launched for 16 GB VRAM is 429 bucks, while 8 GB is 379 bucks. I have a story going over it because AMD is planning to go with 16 GB VRAM at 379 bucks. So it will be a nice competition and AMD might dominate everything with it. As you can see, AMD is planning to launch Radeon RX 9060 XT on May 18, though 9070 GRE has been pushed to Q4, which is bad to see. But the good thing is RX 9060 XT is coming relatively soon. AMD is now reportedly set to launch Radeon RX 9060 XT on May 18, and the source mentioned a product release. Uh, However, the source also mentioned a June launch. So the paper launch will be like they will just tease it and show it off, talk about it on May 18th, and you will get it on hand in June. So yeah, as you can see over here, RX 9060 XT 16 GB as well as 8 GB new products originally planned to be released in June. AMD has advanced to May 18. So yeah, let's just hope. While that of 9070 GRE was originally planned for May 8 but has been postponed, we still don't know anything, but the rumor is in quarter 4, before double event, so before November, we will say. But yeah, I will keep you updated regarding it. But if this is true, and the leak which suggested that the 8 GB SKU, the maximum price will be like 300 bucks, and when we compare it to 300 bucks, we get RTX 5060 and 5060 Ti's 8 GB starts at 379 bucks. And also the max for RX 9060 XT 16 GB SKU is 379 bucks, which literally starts at 8 GB variant of RTX 5060 Ti. And from all the benchmarks which we saw about RTX 5060 Ti at 8 GB, it's bad. So if AMD plans to release it at 379 bucks for an RX 9060 XT 16 GB variant, it will dominate the market yet again. But we will see about it. I will go over it when it launches. Also, AMD is eligibly cooking up an RX 9070 XT with a 32 GB VRAM variant, but no one has an idea about it. It basically comes from a leaker, as you can see over here, 48XT, and there is a W Pro variant which comes with 32 GB VRAM. But yeah, there will be a case where this rumor was also confirmed, not confirmed, but was also spotted few days ago. I didn't made a video regarding it, but the rumor stated that RX 9070 XT will come with more VRAM than the alleged 16 GB, and it will be having 32 GB VRAM. But no one has an idea where or when it will launch and who it will target towards. Speaking of 48XTW Pro 32 GB VRAM, we have news regarding it. AMD is rating Radeon Pro W9000 series powered by RDNA 4 architecture, and since it's Navi 48XTW, it will come with ECC GDDR6 memory, which is 32 GB all across the chip, 256 wide bus, and it will come with similar to RX 9070 XT with 64 compute unit, 4096 TIM processors, 128 AI accelerator, 64 RT accelerator, TMUs, and 128 ROP. So overall it's same, and the company is hosting an advanced AI press unit in June, so it will be launched during that event. Lastly, we have some bad news since Egos Lab has uncovered hotspot issue affecting all RTX 50 GPUs, says it could compromise graphics card longevity. What is happening is over the past few days, there is an issue where you can see over here in this image, not just the chip is getting hot, not the GPU socket or anything else, like the memory is getting hot, but various other things are getting hot, which are capacitors and voltage regulators as such, which will cause a problem later down the line. And it is not just with some series, but all Nvidia RTX 50 series graphics card, including the latest RTX 5060 Ti, has been is affected. And this is not something which drivers can fix, according to me. But yeah, it looks pretty bad. As you can see, we the hotspot is reaching 107 104 degrees Celsius, which is bad for the health of graphics card. Egos Lab has gone over it. And Egos Lab highlights all flaws in Nvidia's thermal design guide. He showed a thermal design guide, but this is for RTX 4090 and not for latest graphics card. But yeah, this guide is a document made for all Nvidia add-in board partners that serves as a thermal planning document for Nvidia's reference PCB design, aimed at helping AIBs create proper cooling. And Egos Lab highlighted flaws in RTX 40 series guide, revealing that many documents parameters are specified under ideal environmental conditions rather than being optimized for the worst case scenario. So yeah, as you can see, the rear display outputs and the GPU time measuring 80.5 degrees Celsius. By contrast, the GPU core was sitting at 70 degrees. So the display outputs is 10 degrees higher than 70 degree GPU core. GPU core should be more hot compared to various other components. And RTX 5070 scenario is worse because it was measuring at 107 degrees, which is even worse. And as you can see, according to Egos Lab finding, show key improvements that they should be made to RTX 56 graphics card in the power delivery area. Many of these graphics cards have a hotspot area around the VRM area that can far exceed temperatures on the GPU die itself. Allegedly, 80 degrees is close to the limit at which long-term electromigration and aging effect can occur, which could eventually cause this graphics card to die over the years of use. So it looks pretty bad for Nvidia as per se that this is happening to them, and Nvidia is already in tough spot with all of the issues with RTX 50 series. But yeah, this is bad, and maybe your graphics card will have this issue, but it can run for next 2 or 3 years. But if this is the case, it will die pretty soon. But yeah, that's it from me today. What do you think about the news? Sound of your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll meet you in the next one. Peace out.